3.5 hours. 3.5 damn hours. Who has the time for that? My short attention span brain can't handle this level of focus. But here we are, facing a 215-minute long movie. And oh, am I glad I stuck it out. Because when the credits rolled, it felt like crossing a finish line. The Brutalist is a film entirely centered around Adrien Brody, or rather, László Tóth, a Hungarian Jewish immigrant who arrives in America carrying the weight of a past, where he was a top-tier architect in Europe. Along the way, László embarks on an ocean voyage at the beginning of the film, stays for a while with Attila and his wife, meets Gordon, a black man, and his son in a free food line, helps them out and sticks with them for most of the movie. He collaborates with Attila and his furniture company, builds a library for a wealthy man named Harrison Lee Van Buren, which goes terribly wrong.
Quite all right? This is not all right! This is my home! God damn you!
Yeah, that didn't go so well. Then things really take a turn. Accusations. A fracture in trust. He gets falsely accused of harassment by Attila's wife and leaves. Works as a freelance laborer for a while. Just when he's at his lowest, Harrison comes back. Harrison tracks him down to show what a huge fanboy he is, gets invited to a party and receives a job offer. He stuns everyone with his designs and introduces an ambitious project. His wife, Erzsébet, returns from Hungary and she is sick. His niece Zsófia, likely traumatized by World War II, doesn't speak. The project moves forward, but not without battle scars. László fights for his vision. He screams, pleads, clashes with Harrison's son, Harry Lee, who treats him like nothing more than an inconvenience. And then, tragedy. A moment that halts everything, the dream suspended. Zsófia finally speaks, and with her words comes a revelation. She wants to leave for Israel, a fresh start. Time passes, the project resumes. László travels to Italy for materials. But the fighting never stops. The battles are endless, and more screaming.
It's over!
You're making me a mess to clean up.
It's over!
Erzsébet's condition worsens, and with that, she makes a choice for László. She pulls him out of the project, telling everyone what Harrison did to László, which it doesn't end well. Harrison vanishes. The structure lingers in limbo. But in the end, László's work, his brutalist vision, is honored. That's pretty much the whole story. Now let's talk about László as a character. He's passionate, holds deep respect for his work and the impact of his creations, and pours himself into his art. But he's also a cheater and an addict, specifically to sex. He is addicted to drugs as well, which leads to him being exploited. You know exactly which part I'm referring to. Before Erzsébet returns, the film is mesmerizing. It plays out like a classic biopic, showcasing László's genius and rise in a well-structured way. The directing, cinematography, and editing, top tier. But once Erzsébet enters the picture, the film, just like László himself, falls apart. Sick. Unraveling, the film's architectural precision starts to crack. The storytelling loses its grip, and the narrative veers off course. It's like a beautifully drawn blueprint for a building that, somewhere during construction, runs into problems and remains unfinished, only to be honored in a grand ceremony at the end. And that, in a nutshell, is The Brutalist, directed by Bradley Corbett. The best film this year might just be Sing Sing, at least for me. A name that doesn't just belong to a maximum security prison, but also serves as the backdrop for a powerful story about transformation. Here, hardened criminals embark on an unexpected journey of self-discovery through RTA, rehabilitation through the arts. It's a therapeutic process, one that offers these men a chance to heal, to reconnect, and ultimately to find their way back to society. At its core, Sing Sing is a deeply personal love letter to theater and the transformative power of art. And interestingly, it's not alone this year. Another film, Ghostlight, which was overlooked, explores the same theme, but in an entirely different setting, far from prison walls. A film that, for me, holds a special place in my heart. From the very beginning, Sing Sing carves out its own path. The writing is sharp, the character work meticulous, and in a move that defies Hollywood conventions, many of the actors are non-professionals. An audacious decision that adds authenticity to an already gripping story. Our protagonist, Divine G, played by the phenomenal Colman Domingo, is a playwright and one of RTA's founding members. Early on, we meet Divine I, a volatile figure whose presence instantly creates tension. The film doesn't rely on flashy conflict. Instead, it weaves in this rivalry naturally, pulling us in with its quiet intensity. Then comes the turning point. Divine G, with his vast experience in theater, isn't chosen to play Hamlet. Instead, the role goes to Divine I, a character whose raw aggression seems at odds with the depth of Shakespeare's tragedy. The twist? We never see his audition. Like Divine G, we're left wondering, how did someone so seemingly disconnected from the art form manages to outshine him? As the film progresses, Divine I begins to evolve. He sheds his defensive walls, gradually finding his place among the theater troupe. Where he once seemed like an outsider, he now connects, learns, and ultimately masters the role of Hamlet. And in a complete reversal of his introduction, he steps up, not as a disruptor, but as a mentor. But not every character gets the same depth of exploration. Take Mike, for example. Outside of a few scripted interactions that hint at his relationship with Divine G, he remains largely in the background. This becomes a missed opportunity, especially considering how pivotal his sudden death is to Divine G's downward spiral. His passing, combined with the crushing weight of Divine G's failed attempts at freedom and the growing burden of the performance, leads to his breaking point. But with a stronger presence in the narrative, Mike's loss could have resonated even more. Divine G's journey is one of reckoning. He starts as a man deeply involved in conflict, both internal and external. He's a supporting actor in their prison play, yet the lead in this film's narrative, a selfless mentor, yet undeniably proud. And the story demands something of him, to let go, to embrace humility. And as the events unfold, we witness his transformation, his path to redemption, and ultimately his quiet acceptance of the years he must still serve. Both Sing Sing and The Brutalist make a striking creative choice. They forego digital cameras in favor of film, and it works. There's a richness, a tangible texture to each shot that digital simply cannot replicate. It's a decision that adds a layer of authenticity to both films, grounding their narratives in something that feels real, lived in. And that's a wrap on this one. The Brutalist is like an unfinished architectural marvel, ambitious, flawed, and strangely poetic. Meanwhile, Sing Sing reminds us that art isn't just about creation, it's about transformation. Two films, two vastly different worlds, yet both tapping into the struggle of self-expression and reinvention. But what do you think? Did The Brutalist collapse under its own weight, or was it a masterpiece in disguise? And was Sing Sing as powerful for you as it was for me? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next deep dive. Plenty more films to dissect, plenty more stories to tell. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next one.